Good evening. Good evening, it's February the 8th, I'm Ben Shires, and this is your Evening Fix. Now, this last year, we've seen MPs flipping more homes than a Haitian earthquake. Is that too soon? No, probably not, probably not. One MP hired so many members of his own family, he accidentally shagged his own wife. John Prescott would be turning in his grave if he were dead, which he probably is inside. Around 50% of MPs have been asked to repay money, meaning, astonishingly, that half of our politicians weren't stealing from us. Shocking figures, I know. But now, 4 face criminal charges with up to 7 years in prison. That's right, folks. The Parliamentary Expenses Show is back for one last curtain call, so roll up, roll up. Upper Circle seats are available at all prices, or free if you hold on to your receipt. Taking centre stage tonight are the world's creepiest boy band. Out of 646 politicians, you could only find 4 guys that you want to prosecute. They're charged with false accounting. And here they are. He gave them some papers, they asked him if they were his expense claims, but the man from Del Monte, he said no. £12,925 might seem like a lot of rent to pay on a property you already own. His landlord was obviously a thieving bastard.
Jim Devine is accused of claiming £3,240 for cleaning and £5,505 for stationery.
OK, so do you know what the best part about that whole Channel 4 thing was? That they spelled stationery wrong, as in not moving. After all, I mean, it does take a lot of money to stand still for that long. But in their defence, they did get an interview with one of the MPs being prosecuted. So here he is, the wily coyote himself of the expenses scandal. Watch out, Westminster, they've got one of the big wigs. It's Jim Devine.
So that was a claim for the coming year, so for work that hasn't yet been done?
Yeah.
Right, and who gave you that, I mean, so how is that, how is that, you know, what was it stationary or not?
There he was, political bulldog Krishnan and Guru Murthy, ravishing him. Just he could barely sit still, poor Jim. Did you see him? The house was rattling at the foundation. Krishnan and Guru Murthy, I mean, he's good at his job, but he sounds like my mum trying to order cinema tickets, and it's an automated booking line. She hasn't quite caught up with the technology. Yes? Can I get 2 tickets for... Oh, I don't really know. I'm sorry. I'm just work experience. I'm not meant to be here.
I was told by the fees office, by an individual in the work, that I could do this.
A receipt that says one thing but is actually for another is a false receipt.
Is a sorry, what receipt?
You can actually see the moment Jim Devine realises, oh, I might have made a tiny little mistake.
I mean, who was this person who was advising you?
Well, I don't want to mention his name.
Well, did you take his advice on anything else?
Yeah, he told me to run with scissors through traffic, wearing a blindfold. OK, his main defence is his naivety. He was just doing what the older boys told him. If Lord Hanningfield asked him to jump off a cliff, Jim Devine would be scampering down to Dover as fast as his naive little legs would carry him, and he'd probably make an itinerary with all the excess stationery he's got. Brilliant! Good work, Jim Devine.
Yes, as I say, in my innocence, I was told that that was acceptable.
Do you know what? The sad thing is I actually believe him. I think this guy might be stupid enough to rip off the taxpayer and personally not get anything out of it. But still, I mean, these guys, they're small time, they're market traders. They're selling whelks out the back of a van. They're the Del Boy to these other MPs, Pablo Escobar. These guys are small fry. What's even more stupefying is that 3 of the 4 being charged are hiding behind what's known as parliamentary privilege. It's basically a big privet hedge that circles Westminster, and they're saying, we're just going to hide behind it. Can you see us? Can you see us, Mr. Regulator? This was a bill passed in 1689 when the Crown still had the power to chop off people's heads. Now this is shielding politicians. In other words, it's a law to protect the likes of this man from this lady. So what are we left with? An investigation of 646 MPs, which has charged just 4 of them with false accounting of £59,000, and the cost to you and me, the taxpayer, oh yeah, that's £500,000. I hope they kept the receipt. Good night. That was the evening fix. If it ain't breaking news, we don't fix it.